listening to Superpower Creatives on the Superpower Up podcast. The show that sparks the superpowers of musicians and artists to ignite change.
All the little men, will they get the chance to come back?
Hello, this is David Delmar, your host of Superpower Creatives, and you're listening to our episode, Consciousness Raising Performances. I believe everyone is a creator, and it's this inherent birthright that's the source of our superpowers. Stepping into this personal authority is scary, though. This show celebrates creatives that stay true to who they really are, making a living using their creative superpowers. The stories they share will excite and inspire listeners to do the same, making positive change in the world. I'm very honored and excited to introduce our guest for today's show. She's a bright star in the world of country music and is powerfully inspiring her audiences with her exciting stage performances and is so generous with her time and talents when not on stage, helping children in need in truly amazing ways. Madelyn Victoria grew up in the deep south of Texas in Harlem, where her songwriting career began at the age of 13, and she won an acclaimed vocal competition singing Sarah Evans' Real Fine Place to Start. That same year, Madelyn opened up for pop boy band sensation, the Jonas Brothers. In December of 2012, Madelyn performed in Las Vegas as the Shania Twain Sing-Off Contest winner. More recently, though, Madelyn and her band have opened for some of the biggest names in country music, including Easton Corbin, Turnpike Troubadours, Tracy Lawrence, Kevin Fowler, Clay Walker, Josh Thompson, Dustin Lynch, Zach Brown Band, the Charlie Daniels Band, and more. She's also a top 50 CMT.com artist as well. Madelyn loves giving back to her community by volunteering at local motor training events for special needs children, singing to children at hospitals and rehab centers, and by starting her own annual event called Octave Higher Christmas for Children. Madelyn Victoria's debut single release, He Only Loves Me on the Dance Floor, reached #1, numero uno, on the National Country AM/FM chart, New Music Weekly, winning an April 2016 Academia Award for Best Country Song. The video reached the y'allwired.com top 5 most watched videos chart, and her latest single from her self-titled EP is the song, Hold On. Madelyn, hello. Thank you so much for being here today. So appreciate it.
Hi, David. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for that introduction.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for inspiring it in me. I appreciate that.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely. Well, it's such an impressive list of achievements and accolades. And so, I just want to say thank you for taking your talents direct to your many fans, especially those children, at the hospitals and rehab centers who I know appreciate it immensely. It's that kind of service for others that this show is all about. And we are just honored and overjoyed to have you here today.
Thank you so much again.
You're welcome. Well, today we're talking about our show, Consciousness Raising Performances. Specifically, how Madelyn feels her performances raise her own awareness about the world, and how when she performs, her audience's awareness is increased by the power of voice and song. So, Madelyn, how we like to open up our show is with the same question for everybody, and it's possibly an obvious one, but here it is. What is your creative superpower?
Yes, I believe, my performance and also my songwriting. My ability to, go up in front of a stage and actually, not be so nervous and just do it. And my songwriting, my creativity from within.
No doubt. Well, no doubt. I mean, that is a superpower on its own, to be able to approach a stage with ease and with grace and with confidence and with, the ability to connect with your art, to share that to others. It is a creative and is a superpower all its own. What is it like for you, Madelyn, to have that sort of essence of yourself and take that onto the stage and share that with your audiences? What's it like to have that sort of superpower, that sort of inner knowingness?
Oh man, yes. I it's just an amazing feeling. It's it could be really surreal at times. At one point I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. But, it started when I was a little girl. And I guess I've had this, what you call, and it's awesome to say, superpower since I was very young. And, a lot of people say it comes natural to me. But, and even if it doesn't come natural to other people, you can always learn to do it. And I've seen people do it before. And by seeing others and just being able to get up there and do it, it's the nerves and the nervousness and, the questions that, oh, what if I mess up, whatever. It's you embrace that. You actually have to embrace that, and you take that and you turn it into a positive energy. And that's what I've been doing since I was a little girl, performing since I was 5 in front of an audience and forming my band when I was in high school and moving on with that and being able to connect with people through song and through music and how they can relate to the songs I've written. It's a beautiful thing. If somebody's out there and they want to do the same, I encourage it. It's an amazing feeling.
Well, I want to touch on that a bit because it's interesting how you share where you embrace the imperfections perfectly, and it's something I actually speak about, and I'd like to ask how you approach that not being attached to outcomes, not being attached to needing it to be perfect, which of course automatically tenses you up anytime that's going on. You've obviously mastered that at a very young age. How do you approach that? Just willingness to be open to whatever happens and that you lovingly accept it and turn it around to be a strength as opposed to the way so many people turn it into becoming a weakness and a liability and something that would keep them from even getting onto a stage. How is it that you're able to harness that understanding where you do perform the way you do?
Yeah, it's one step at a time. You take it slowly and let the opportunities come as they may. And I see things as such a beautiful thing, even if it's a negative thing. I always try to turn the negative into positive, and you have to have a real bulletproof mindset. That's what I like to say. And ever since I was, a lot younger, I for example, if I'm in a competition and, you're afraid to lose, something, there's nothing to be afraid of because everybody there is feeling the same way you do. If you just put yourself in anybody else's shoes, even the judges are nervous, even they want to make the right decision. Everybody's feeling the same way. So once you know that you're all related in that way, then you could do it. And there's room. And another thing I like to think about is that there's room for everybody. There's room for everyone to win. If I lose, that was their time. This is their time to win. And this is my time to learn something. And either way, it's a learning experience.
Well, and it is. And it's such a refreshing way to hear you put it that way, because what I hear that you've detailed is really being able to speak for people that, that are subconsciously speaking just through their nervousness or their showing outwardly of nervousness. But I love how you described it where even the judges are nervous because they want to get the call right. Everyone's feeling the same thing. And by recognizing that, it doesn't formulate that separation anymore. It's sort of, for you, it sounds like you're able to really find that to get that togetherness that strengthens all of us, and that awareness. And I love how you put that, because it's such a refreshing thing for anybody out there. I mean, if you're, whatever it is, competition for whatever might be the venue, to approach it like that, where you recognize that everybody's feeling the same way. Don't think you're alone. Don't think you're separated. Embrace that everyone is feeling that same emotion, and find a way to make it your strength in that moment to maybe speak or go talk to somebody in a way where it strengthens both of you. Have you found where you've been at competitions before that you've utilized that inner just awareness that you have to go and maybe take some of the drama out of the setting, because sometimes it can get built up when people are so nervous like that. Have you been able to sort of diffuse some of that for people, being someone who is no stranger to competition?
Yeah, actually, I was just thinking about that as you asked me. I've growing up, I competed in different different competitions, from singing to even I was in, pageants and whatnot, and not really, I don't think I would consider myself a pageant girl. I'm just someone who likes to, be on a stage, and someone who likes to sing, and someone who likes to, I don't like to define myself as anything. So I did some pageants, and I was in a group called FFA as well, where we raised the animals. And within that organization, we had different pageants as well for, Miss Cowgirl and Miss Cameron County and Rodeo Queen. I won that one. So being in that, and it's funny that I do seek out to help people and do seek out to make, I just want everyone to feel comfortable. So during these competitions, it helps me become less nervous if I'm actually talking to them I talk to the other competitors on a level of, I want to get to know this person. And it seems to calm all of our nerves once we start having conversation rather than any kind of competitive drama or anything like that. I try to make sure that we're friends and we're rooting for each other. And then, it starts from there, and everyone starts to get along backstage, behind the scenes of these competitions, or, any kind of competition, from even choir. I was in choir, and, all state kind of things like that. And it just helps for me to just make friends with everyone, talk about what's going on, talk about, how we feel, and encouraging one another. I love to encourage one another.
Well, and I can speak for the other people confidently when I say they are appreciative that is something that you naturally gravitate towards. Everybody in the room appreciates that. That's very awesome stuff. We need to take a quick break, and because I want to explore some more with you, Madelyn, about what you're sharing here, and how from the stage you're able to be your full conscious self, and how that might help listeners have greater awareness when performing on stage or on live stage. But before we do jump into a break, let's tell people where they can go to find out more about you.
Yes, definitely. And everyone can visit my website. That is Madelyn-Victoria.com. Madelyn, that little dash, Victoria.com. And y'all can see where I'll be playing. And also, anywhere you can Google my name, Madelyn Victoria, Facebook, Madelyn Victoria, Twitter as well, any kind of music download apps, streaming apps. You can search my name, and I'm sure to pop up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, outstanding. All right. So, we've been talking with Madelyn Victoria today about consciousness-raising performances. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with Madelyn on our little mini tour here and let you out there know how you can make this knowledge applicable for you.
Are you here to change the world? Do you talk about things like vibration, frequency, awakening, and consciousness? Are you pretty sure you have superpowers? The Superpower Net is unlike normal coaching programs and conscious communities. We provide training, intuitive guidance, peer-to-peer learning, intensive one-on-one coaching, and a high vibrational network of people just like you. When you join the net, you get 24/7 access to a collaborative group of people who support you as you master your personal power and unlock your superpowers. If you're ready to use your superpowers to change the world, then join the Superpower Net today. Visit superpowerexperts.com/the-net to learn more.
We're back. You're listening to Superpower Creatives, and today we're talking with Madelyn Victoria on our episode, Consciousness Raising Performances. So Madelyn, I'd love to circle back to where we left off before the break there, and you mentioned how you embrace the ability to just help people and empower them, whether it's in competition or it's the children that you selflessly give of your time to help them to feel confident about what they're experiencing in their life. And I want to ask this question because it seems like we may already have an answer, but I want to hear.
Hello, David.
Hi, Madelyn. Yeah, sorry about that. I had a little breakout in my feed there. So I will ask this again. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I'm like, she'll be back. I'll just kind of let that moment happen. So
yeah.
What I was saying is, I think we probably, as the audience listening to myself, I think we're getting an essence of what the answer for this next question is going to be. But this is what I want to ask. Why do you do what you do with your superpowers?
Awesome. That's a great question. Looking back and like I've been saying, I've been doing this for so long. It's sometimes I feel like it's kind of something I'm sure a lot of people say, but you feel like you're just born to do this. But a lot of people are born to do what I'm doing. It's just that I actually recognize it, and I'm taking it all the way, and it's just that one decision, that one choice. I know a lot of people with really great many talents, but they're just scared. That's the main thing. They're scared of failure. They're scared of something that might not work out. How embarrassed they'll feel, and that's always what holds people back. And that's something that makes the difference in me from other people who have the same, as you say, superpower as me, is that I'm not afraid at all. And it's been, I've been blessed with a family who's been very supportive, and who have been supporting me all the way since I was a lot younger, and from my mom and dad to my uncles, who are very talented as well, who they also grew up playing and singing, but never professionally. But since they see me doing this, they're very supportive and want me to go all the way and make it, because they never had the opportunity or chance to. And so I feel like, I feel like if you're out there and there are people around you that are supportive of you, and if not, then you go out and find them, because they are there and they are going to be there. So it's just making that decision. You have to really have, like I said earlier, a bulletproof mindset. And, we live this one life, and there's nothing that should ever be holding you back. And even if I believe that even if I wasn't in this situation or something horrible happened in my life, I'd still would find the strength to get up, keep doing what I'm doing with my superpowers, and continue with my passion.
Well, and that's the essence of a true performer. That is someone who just knows that's what they are, and how they're able to bring that to other people's lives is it's what makes those transcendent moments when performing, or that song when you're hearing it so special. And that is by far a superpower in its true definition. Let me ask you this, Madelyn. You've had such an amazing career already, just at a young age already, but so many things you've accomplished. What milestones or even challenges have you experienced in your career that you've found were pivotal moments for the direction of your life as an artist, as a performing artist and musician?
Yes, throughout, I've seen my career sometimes as sometimes I zoom out and I look back and what I've done and what I've accomplished. And sometimes in the moment, I feel like we all feel like we need more. We're all yearning for more. We all need to do more. But when I do zoom out and see my career in a whole, that, I have been progressing, and I have been. So sometimes, my difficulty is usually it's my own mind. Usually it's, my own thoughts that are just, the negative thoughts that actually, start to overcome, your positive thoughts. And you just have to, really look back and see, what have you done, and how have you overcome it? And so for me, right now it's like, I feel like, sometimes I'm in a plateau of my career, and really it's just slow progression. That's how I like to look at it. It's slow progression. And, sometimes, it's not going as fast as I want it to be. And, difficulties throughout, it's, mainly, I'll be honest, it's the, the finances. Being an independent artist, sometimes, we can't find the finances to supplement for what we need to do as an independent artist. And as a songwriter as well, you're waiting for that one hit to make it big, just because, and make all that money throughout the whole, world and whatnot. And to really have a career, you have to have something. And talking about money, it's not really an important factor, but money can do a lot of great things, and a lot of the great plans that I have for as you mentioned, the children I want to help out, and the people that I want to help out, my family. And so, that's really my goal in the end, is to help out as many people as I can. So sometimes, that's mainly my difficulty, but I know everything's in the right timing. That's how I always believe. There's little small wins, little moments that keep me going, and know that this is just leading me toward my big win. And that's how I always have to be positive. Sometimes, again, negativity could come and try to overcome it, but you have to fight back. And that's how I've been surviving throughout all these years, and getting through, the difficulties that come my way.
Well, and it's inspiring for me to hear, first of all, because I love your resolute. It definitely it definitely comes through in a powerful way, and I know the listeners are receiving that as well. And just really value and appreciate someone with that that type of fortitude and that bulletproofness. And you mentioned something about the desire to want to help the children out more and your family with money that you can see yourself bringing in the near future with your music and with what you're doing with your powerful songs and voice. Tell me a little bit about the outreach to the children and the Octave Higher Christmas, your event you have. What is it that you appreciate most, and what is it about seeing the look on these children's faces when you know you've made a difference for them? What is that like for you?
Oh man, it's just, it's an amazing feeling. It's something that you can't really describe, but just something that's within the joy. And that's how I can say, just joy, spreading joy throughout the world. We have too much bad things going on in the world that we need a little extra something every now and then, especially with children who don't always have a life that we do, a consciousness that we do in what we do. They have other difficulties. We all have difficulties, but they have a different kind of difficulty. And for me to just music is so powerful, and it's such a therapy for people, and so that's what I want to do. It's just something, again, that I just long to do it, like whatever somebody longs to do, this is what I long to do. And this is to help people. And around the holiday season, especially, my mom has always taught me, and I always give credit to her, because sometimes, moms can give us advice, or parents, and we don't usually really pay attention, or, maybe later on in life we can remember and appreciate. But ever since I was little, I've just always appreciated everything my parents have taught me. And one thing is, just giving back to your community and thinking, about the other person and not yourself. So me doing that with this event and being conscious about, okay, it's Christmas time and it's supposed to be a joyous time, but it's not always joyous for everybody. People are in the hospital, people are getting hurt, even on holidays. There's no exception. Hurt doesn't have any exception. So that's why I feel like it's my duty to go out there and bring that joy, and it brings joy to me too. So it's a win-win, so there's no one loses in this. And going out to the hospitals locally, I'm trying to get more into the hospitals all over Texas and during the Christmas time. And my big plans in the future are to do a whole tour of this, of just going to hospitals and singing Christmas time and spending time with people, and showing that they're not alone, and showing that people out there care as well. And Octave Higher Christmas, that's what it's all about. And I hope to make it a big organization someday this year. And, not just one particular group. Yes, I want to reach all different children from children who are in special needs, children who are foster children, and that's exactly what I'll be doing this year. I'm going to go out to Sunny Glen homes in my community, and we're going to be putting on a concert for them, a party. Who doesn't love a party, right? So that's what I'll be.
I love a party.
Exactly. So that's what we'll be throwing for the Sunny Glen children, and it's going to be, oh man, I'm so excited. And for me, it's just as big as opening up for someone like Charlie Daniels in a big show. This is just as big for me, and the same feeling that I get for being with these children.
Well, and that's it's so awesome that you share the parallels between that and opening up for somebody, as big as the Charlie Daniels band. It really provides context for those of us listening. That's really very, very well easy to process, which is where breakthroughs happen from that easy processing of when someone is sharing from their own experiences that create an awareness for one else's experience. So that's truly amazing. And I want to ask you this, Madelyn, is there a time when you've worked with the children that they or their parents, or sometime after you've worked with, you've shared a show with someone or a group, and they've come back to you then, or maybe later down the road, and shared with you the type of impact, the type of importance it had in their life? Do you have an example or a moment where somebody shared something like that with you?
I do, actually. I have a few of those moments, and one that really stick out to me. Well, one, I'll say, as far as opening for shows and whatnot, or even songwriting. I had a gentleman, message me one time that a song that I wrote, just not really thinking that, I know that my goal is for it to relate. For people to relate, and for people to have perspective, and for them to really have conscious of their own lives through my music. And, you think that's your goal, but when it actually happens, you're like, whoa, like it actually happened. My goal actually happened, where a young gentleman, he messaged me, he told me, you're getting me through this event, this hard event. Like, your song is getting me through this hard event in my life. And he just wanted to thank me for that, and that truly humbles me for something like that to happen through a song that, my goal is actually reached. And first of all, and then second of all, it's helping somebody through a hardship. Cause I know that I have songs from other artists that I listen to that get me through my hardships and in life, as well, or, something that brings me back to a memory that really, really brings back a really good time in my life. And for me to do that for other people, that's just, I can't even explain how amazing that feels. And another time too, where I was, singing at the hospital in the, ICU. And, going back, I sing to, I've been doing this for a few years, but, you try to remember every child, you try to remember everybody, but, in this busy life, sometimes it's there, but for it to be reminded back to you, it's an amazing feeling. I was at a restaurant actually, and a couple came up to me and they said, you probably don't remember us, and we really don't want to bother you. And I'm like, oh no, what's going on? And I don't even realize what they're going to talk about. But they say, that they remembered, they have video of me singing to their child who was in the ICU, just a baby. And this is years later. So now the baby's 2, thank God that, everything's good, no complications anymore with this child. And they have the video of me singing Silent Night to their child. And they always reminisce and go back to that video and know that was a special time and comfort for them. And so that made, instantly, everyone's crying. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that this is actually happening. And they remember, and they've been, fans, I say friends of my music ever since then. And that's just an additional, that's just a plus of them, following my music afterwards. That's not really, the main thing why I'm there. It's the main thing is for, like I said, the selflessness of it all, and being there for the child and the parents. So that was an amazing moment.
Yeah, that is a powerful moment. I mean, most definitely it is. And you've mentioned a couple of times, and I want to ask you a little bit about it. When those moments are happening, you're in the essence of that moment, and you have that sort of inner awareness or that epiphany of true response that, wow, I can't believe this is happening. Like you've mentioned that, and it sounds like that's something that is a very powerful thing that your own inner, powerful person recognizes as major events that guide the next steps in life. When you're in that sort of essence where it's like, wow, I can't believe, like my song, my music, my outreach, it is affecting people's lives. I can't believe that. What brings you to that humbleness of like, oh, I can't believe this. Where do you maintain that humbleness to like be in awe of the moment, but also just open to where life is meant to be? And I'm just curious what that's like when you're like in that moment of, oh, I can't believe this is happening. Everything you really want to be happening is in that moment. It's telling you it is. What if you're able to kind of follow me a little bit? Hopefully I didn't lose you, but I'm just curious what if you can describe what that's like.
Oh yes, of course. I totally get what you're saying, and kind of it's kind of hard to explain, but I can really try my best because like I said, I've ever since I was little, I've been told, I'm just kind of not aware of the talents that I have, I guess, and not that, and I say talent only because people have been telling me I have this, and I go out to my shows, and for me to keep going and in this career is only mainly because of the people, only mainly because of the responses, only mainly because of people telling me, you're going to make it. People telling me, oh, I love this song. So it's the feedback that keeps me going the most. And being this person, it's just who I am. I see other people who embrace, who they are a lot more than I do. And I said, not really embrace. I embrace who I am, but I guess really are aware of their talents, and they love when they sing, and they can hear their voice and they really enjoy it. Cause I'm in the studio and I'm like, that's my voice. I hate it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will do that too. But you know, when I'm on stage, I really enjoy the moment more than I enjoy, you know, my talent, if that makes sense. And even though I have my talent, I enjoy the moment more, and I enjoy the people around me more, and I enjoy my musicians more. I enjoy the people putting up the, you know, the concert background and the sound engineers, and I appreciate everyone around me. And not that not saying that I don't appreciate myself or don't love myself, but that just makes me feel like more human and makes me feel more powerful in that sense of in what I'm doing. It's the people around me, my family, who the people that I love, you know, and the new people that I meet, and the music that I write. And when I'm on that stage, I feel like I'm embracing, you know, who the music and the song around me, rather than, you know, just if you can get what I'm saying. If you're not losing me, I hope that you get what I'm saying.
No, I absolutely relate, and I absolutely get what you're saying.
Good.
And I love it for this reason, because it's saying that it's not all about being identified to yourself as an artist, where it's like you're completely self-absorbed, and it's like a love relationship with yourself that's maybe a little leaning more towards the love that's kind of teeters the line a little bit of self-compassion and self-love, to some areas where you're maybe overly indulgent in the aspects of artistry, where for you it's like, I have people that tell me I've got these talents and gifts. Because of that, it helps me make up my decisions, and I know the way I feel on stage, because for me in that moment it's about giving and connecting, and when I'm off stage it's the same thing. And it's like, if people say that I have these talents and that I love doing this, that's good enough for me, as opposed to making it your total identity, where you might miss out on those finer points in life, those finer moments in life, because of that true self-absorption, which I think can be some gray area. But as someone who relates to that, and someone who loves artists that are more that way, I can say that I really appreciate that part of you, because it's like it's not any sort of lack of confidence or anything like that. It's more about just having a complete loving relationship with yourself, enough to where it doesn't matter to be drawn into some of the extra stuff that, you know, like inertia wants to pull you into some sort of way of that's maybe not always positive, like the struggling artist. You don't you really don't have any of that essence to, like, the struggling artist mentality. And I love that, because that, I think we need to see more of, breaking that mold of the struggling artist, as opposed to someone like yourself who's empowered and just as happy to have the talents and the abilities to go and share it, to go and perform and share it with other people. And it doesn't have to be anything more than that. That's enough right there.
Exactly. And I completely agree with you. And another thing, you know, I will mention in my own faith, and what keeps me going is my faith in God and my family, you know, and that's actually my, you know, foundation. So that's something that keeps me, that's what really keeps me level headed and you know, my head not up in the clouds, I guess. Yeah. And so it keeps me grounded and keeps me going. And as you say, struggling musician, I'm definitely not struggling. These are just the things I need to go through to get to the road, you know, my destination. You know, these are the different paths and roads all intertwining and going crazy, but at the end it's going to be a beautiful novel, you know. So
yeah, and it's writing itself now, and you're a striving artist, and that's empowering. The energy behind that's empowering for everybody, even the struggling artist who needs to see that. I believe needs to see that in other artists that are doing well, and that's like, hey, they're bringing a real vibe that's palpable and very infectious. And so, I think there needs to be more artists like how you are. And I'm surely glad you are that way.
and you know, as far as, you know, it's just the mindset that's the difference. You know, if you say you're struggling, then you're struggling. If you say you're striving, then you're striving, even though, you know, I honestly, you know, I wish, you know, who doesn't wish they were already making it big, you know, and already in the big time, but
of course,
you know,
absolutely.
But I appreciate where I'm at, you know, and so I feel like if more other struggling artists, you know, like myself, I guess, in a way, but would think that way, I think we would all just be, really, really where we want to be.
Yeah, no, no doubt about it on that. Well, this has been a blast for sure, Madelyn. And before we close out the show, let's remind listeners where they can go to find out more about you.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having me. It's my website, Madelyn-Victoria.com. You can also go to Google Madelyn Victoria, and my site, my videos, my music, my social media will pop up right away. So if you go on your apps, Spotify, you type my name, Madelyn Victoria. Again, that's Madelyn Victoria. And I would love to meet you guys and connect with y'all and appreciate all the support.
Absolutely. Reach out to Madelyn, and you'll be better for it. I promise you that. Well, thank you again so much for joining me. And it's just been a lot of fun to co-create with you today in this space. And, I also want to just acknowledge once again your talented voice as an artist and your powerful performances that are bringing joy and hope to people around the world. And I want to, of course, thank the listeners as well. Until next time, be bold, stay true, and unveil your creative superpower.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the superpower quiz today.
I get up and I show